Hey, it's Dr. Schmidt. So I'm live, and we're going to go over some solutions for stress during the COVID shutdown or any time of the year. But people seem to be very stressed right now. Now, the thing is, as I'm compiling my thoughts about this, and I have all these bottles I'm going to go over. You can base the supplementation on symptoms if you want to. So every single one of these bottles, I have maybe 20 right here in front of me. Every single one has a different personality, and they affect the body in different ways. And then all the side effects are positive. So as opposed to drugs, side effects are negative. And the more drugs you take, especially in the psychiatric field, the more likely you are to be unhealthy, to have more problems up here, and tend towards death, literally suicide and homicide. For example, Chantix, that's the drug that supposedly helps people quit smoking. That is so related to suicide and homicide. And then you got like black box warnings on Prozac and Wellbutrin and Celexa and that kind of stuff, where it says this may increase the chance of suicide and homicide. So, now 25% of Americans are on psychiatric drugs. Like, that's not a good solution for most people. And it's just based on complete ignorance of nutrition and all the possible nutritional supplements that might help you. Let's talk about diet a little bit. So I'm a big fan of low carb. Obviously, the standard American diet is super high in carbohydrates. As you go low carb, you may crave sugar, and in a good way. Like, for example, last year I ate fruit maybe once a month. I don't know if I said this in a video recently, but as I'm eating low carb and lifting weights, depleting the sugar out of my liver. That's glycogen. Glycogen is stored for about 3 days. I'm sorry. Yeah, it stores about 3 days worth of energy. And then if you're exercising a lot, you can deplete all your body of sugar. And then you're craving sugar, not in a pathological way, like fungus will make you crave sugar, but because you really need it. So yeah, I had fruit about once a month last year. And so that could help you with stress. Like, you can have extra stress because of COVID and the shutdown and all that stuff. And yet in that time frame, maybe fructose would be good for you for a short period of time. And it should give you a settled feeling for at least a few weeks. Okay. Now, if you're craving sugar every single day, then you have something pathological going on inside. For example, mold, severe B vitamin deficiency, candida, parasites, severe nervous system stress. So the nervous system loves B vitamins. And the more you're stressed out, the more B vitamins you need. So I'm going to start this off with Cataplex B right here. I did the video called King of All Supplements, Cataplex B from Standard Process. And then related to that is inositol, a B vitamin from Standard Process. This comes from honey. There's a lot of inositol products on the market. They don't taste very good. They're not from honey. This is like candy. You eat this one pill at a time, and you can go through a couple bottles, in a week, for example, or one bottle in 3 days, which I've done. And I'm not eating candy. I'm eating this, and it's feeding the nervous system and the rest of the body B vitamins. The liver needs B vitamins for detoxification. B vitamins are water soluble. They can leave the body fast, but they're super important. So B vitamins have been taken out of our food supply in that white bread, white rice, white pasta. All those grains are void of B vitamins from the processing. All right, now you can be stressed, like fatigued stressed, like adrenal stress. Adrenal complex, it says licorice. This is fantastic for just increasing energy. It's a tonic, and it increases energy tremendously. And then at the same token, you can have stress, like fatigue stress, like exhausted, from all kinds of, not just adrenals, but your whole body's sort of wiped out. So I'm showing you rhodiola and ginseng complex. So those two herbs combined make you feel better. They're not like a stimulant tonic like the licorice is in adrenal complex. It's more about feeling good, feeling better, feeling stronger, having like an inner strength, as opposed to being pushed up by the adrenal complex. I'm going to go over these two right here, Nervogesic and Nevaton. Neviton has St. John's wort and a few other things. Okay, here's St. John's wort liquid. This just makes you happy. It makes you calm and happy inside. It does give you some inner strength, but it's really good for stress, depression. Okay, now the Nervagesic has California poppy in it. You know what poppy is? They make opium from it. This is the whole plant. This is not the drug. So there's a difference between these two. I'm going to show you what I do if I want to clarify the difference. I look in my clinical reference guide from ifnh.org, and I can look up the Nervagesic. It says primary use, nerve pain, antispasmodic for the muscles, anxiolytic, so anxiety, it calms that down, and sleep aid and mild sedative. That's the Nervagesic. So it's good for nerves and to calm you down if you're kind of hyped up or anxious. Now the Neviton, primary use, depression/anxiety and mental focus. It says excellent nervine, meaning nervous system, and liver support for depression, anxiety, irritability, and stress, especially when coupled with debility and or PMS for women. May be helpful with ADD and ADHD. That's a lot of words there with a lot of different conditions, all helped with this one supplement. And that's how it works in the natural field. You have a whole bunch of nutrients in this one pill, unadulterated, concentrated, and then it helps you feel better in many ways, regardless of your condition. Okay, you don't have to have a specific diagnosis to take this. You can have severe ADD or whatever else was listed, or you could just be like, hey, I want to take it because I want to feel better. I've been a little bit stressed out. Or maybe you're not stressed out and you just want to take it and see how it feels. So it's totally fine to do that. Okay, next is Formula 303. Now this is, it says it right on the label, natural relief for muscle spasm, tension, and stress, homeopathic. So when I typically have used this in the past, it's for somebody that pulled a muscle or they have some joint pain or muscle pain, but it also can calm the whole body down too. So we got about 10 more to go, so we're getting there. This is valerian. Now you may have heard of valerian is good for sleep, and then you're supposed to take it before bed to help you like calm down on the inside. But the truth is, check it out, it's a tonic, meaning it's a little bit of a stimulant. So you take it in the morning also. This is the cool part. It's a stimulant for sleep. It's not like calming for sleep. It's stimulating for sleep because sleeping is an action and it takes energy to sleep. Yeah, you recover, you're repairing, you're losing weight, you're detoxifying. Maybe your body's even creating a fever. Some people like wake up, they're sweating because their immune system is working. You have to have good energy to sleep. And that's what valerian is. It's a tonic, meaning it gives you energy. So you don't just take it at nighttime. You can also take it in the morning and at lunch. Now, kava, fantastic stuff, is calming. And it doesn't like affect your mind like a drug does. It calms your whole body down. There is a side effect to this, and it's nightmares. Now, I've taken this once in my life. I don't know if I've told this story before, but I was flying from here to Australia to visit MediHerb. That's the manufacturer of this kava. And I had a nightmare. I'm on this plane. The nightmare is we're flying too low and we're near an island, and I'm looking out the window and there's dead airplane parts, crashed airplanes all over the beaches and in the water. And we were going to crash. That was my nightmare. So most people don't have nightmares when they take this, but it's very calming and it helps sleep. So that's for, just when you're stressed out. You have a life experience like, a parent dies, the dog dies, whatever, you lose your job, kava, and you're all like, like worked up inside, kava can help calm that down. Drenamine. So when you're like chronically fatigued, and maybe you can call it adrenal stress, adrenal fatigue, this is nutritional for not just the adrenals, but many other parts of your body. And it helps fix lactic acidosis, the most common mechanism of chronic disease. These are two of my favorites. The next three are some of my favorites. Orchex and Orchic. So these are made of bull testicles. I'm not kidding when I say this. This is the DNA/RNA of bull testicles, Orchic. So it's good for men and women. Women need testosterone too. It can help libido for men and women. And then this is like more long-term. You can take this every day for years and get benefit from it. This one, like 2 years, 3 years. The Orchex is fast. It's not long-term. You can take it for 4 months, maybe 6 months. Then you got to stop it for a few months. Then you can start it again after that. But, for men, they can put on muscle, and it helps with libido and performance. But just imagine that, like, if you just lost your job and you're depleted, and just imagine that your testosterone is tanked, and now you're sensitive to everything, and everything bothers you, and you can complain about, the bank account, you complain about the weather, and you complain about all these things, and it has nothing to do with that at all. It has everything to do with your body function is dropped. So you put this, you start taking Orchex, you increase your testosterone, and then all these things don't bother you anymore. You just deal with it. So that's a big deal. And the explanation right there is the best way that I can explain it. So, and then one more thing about Orchic, even for women, the dosage would be low, like half a pill a day, or maybe 1 pill a day. If there's a woman who needs 3 a day, I do that muscle testing technique, and we find that she needs 3 a day. That means she's totally stressed out, but that's a lot. Now for men, they can do 9 a day. But anyways, we had a patient who her libido went up, and she had dreams of boys merging with boys to make a superboy. Okay, that's Orchex and Orchic. Okay, Cataplex G, fantastic for anxiety and fixing lactic acidosis. Its brother is Cataplex B. This is stimulating and giving you energy. This is calming for anxiety. So Cataplex G can help with, I've mentioned this so many times, can help lower the blood pressure, make you feel better inside, and the anxiety goes away as you're addressing the cause. I can't not mention Calm from Systemic Formulas. So this is really good for the nervous system too, calming, and it makes your brain work better, including your eyes and your processing, your ability to take in information and deal with it, and then output an outcome. So calming for the nervous system, and then better brain function. So you can see how all these are different. And so here we have 3 more, the last 3. These are all homeopathic. Relaxed tone from energetics. I'm going to read right on the front. Stress, muscle tension, nervousness, sleeplessness. This one's called Calm 5. It says agitation, shock, fear. And then this one's called Relief Tone. And it says pain, trauma, wounds, injury, bruises, swelling, aches, cramps. So relief of physical body problems. And then Calm 5, relief of shock and fear, like more distressful, acute situations. And then Relaxed Tone for more chronic sleeplessness and that kind of stuff. So there you go. I just gave you a ton of solutions for stress. Now, I'm going to say it again, like I said at the beginning. I kind of feel like I'm not a drug dealer, but based on symptoms, like I've talked to pharmacists, and they're like, yeah, take this pill for pain, and take this pill for anxiety, and take this pill for sleep, and take this pill for whatever. And I'm doing that. I'm saying that. But the difference is these are helpful, and this is what you're supposed to do. This is how you approach it, and not with drug, with all the side effects and the potential for being closer and closer to death. We're trying to avoid that aspect, and poisonous chemicals lead you to into that realm. Now, one last thing before I close out. I've given this analogy before. Let's say somebody's attacking you with a gun, and you're using drugs, right? You're using drugs for your health. The analogy is you're shooting the bullets out of the air with your gun. Now, some of the bullets coming at you are going to hit you, and but in the medical field, they're trying to block all the bullets with other bullets. Now, when you take something like Prozac, you run a nuclear test. There's I forgot the term for it, but in all these labs, they can look at a graph and see what are the contents of this pill, or what are the contents of this plant, what are the contents of this food. And it's based on this graph. It'll be like a flat line and then a peak and then a flat line. And you could, depending on the size of the peak and where it's located on the graph, you could say, oh, that's Prozac, that's Celexa, that's Vicodin, that's this, that's that. You can see the peak for that drug because that drug is one chemical. And then when you do the same thing with herbs, it's a whole, it's a forest. It's a whole peak and valleys and ups and downs. Some are bigger, some are smaller, some are clumped together, but it's a more beautiful spectrum of nutrients in the herbs as opposed to the single tree, if you will, in the Prozac. So back to the gun analogy, that Prozac is one bullet, boom, 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 boom. But if you're using herbs like this, it's a whole arsenal of nutrients and phytochemicals that you can use for your benefit to feel better. All right. So when I talk with the scientists, the lab technicians and stuff, with these supplement companies, I've been to many labs. I'm just amazed by their brilliance, and what they have to work with is so complex, and they have to translate those herbs, those plants in the field over into a pill into your body without harming the plant, without harming the chemicals, and getting the most benefit of that plant in the field all the way into your body. That's the brilliance of it. It's just fascinating. It's fantastic. So there you go. I'm going to close out right here. And thanks for watching. I appreciate your attention, and see you at the next video.